Who's the bad actor in the Israel-Hamas war? Well, anyone who's connected with reality knows that it's Hamas. But check out this clip from Charlie Kirk over here, where a student actually has the contention that Israel is the bad actor. So we'll watch this clip together and then talk about it. But first, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Check this out.
Do you think, who's the bad actor, Israel or Hamas?
I believe that what Hamas is doing wrong, but that's not okay for what Israel is doing to the Palestinians.
What is Israel doing exactly? Tell me in detail. Where's it happening?
Crimes,
war crimes, really? How?
What do you mean how? They're killing little kids, man.
Well, hold on. Killing kids. You mean they drop leaflets before they bomb in Gaza? They warn civilian corridors before they ever engage militarily. They do emergency medical procedures for any person in Gaza that might need it. Do you understand what's actually?
They're doing good, but it's okay for them to do bad. Then that's what
it's called war,
saying.
Okay? And in war, sometimes bad things happen.
But it's a
Who
war
started
crime.
this? It's not a war crime. Throwing around war crime is a ridiculous. You know what a war crime is? A war crime is going into
killing children
kibbutzes.
is a war crime.
Going into kibbutzes, going into the Nova Music Festival, going into people's places of residences on October 7th, and putting.
So okay, you guys keep bringing up October 7th. You guys are doing bad.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
Okay.
If you're going to all of a sudden attack Jews on their holiest day of the interior of Israel, expect a whirlwind and don't complain about it when it comes forward.
So what's happening is that
because if you're going to go into the interior of Israel and start babies' throats in their homes, not even going after military.
Can I say something, please? So basically, what Israel doing is bad. Hamas is doing is bad. Okay.
I'm not even contending what Israel is doing is bad.
So what Israel doing isn't bad. Killing children isn't bad, is what you're saying?
Hold on a second, but you have to go instance by.
Is it or not?
I
need a yes
are
or
they
no.
intentionally killing kids? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
No, they are not.
So
that is complete
why are there so
BS.
many dead kids? Why are you okay with dead babies?
Good question. Why are there dead kids? Because Hamas has no
war
care.
crimes,
Time out.
Israel.
So you think Israel? Let me get this straight. Let's think how irrational it is. Israel sits
around. Are you okay with dead
Let me
babies?
hold on. I want to make sure this is okay.
No, I need.
Of course, I'm not okay with dead kids. Okay, ridiculous. I'm the most pro-life person. I've debated for 2 hours. Time out. Stop interrupting me. Do you think Israel? Do you think Israel sits around and they say, how do we kill more kids in Gaza today?
I mean, so why are they killing kids then?
Exactly. Let's think. Maybe it's because Hamas uses the kids as human shields on top of their military bases. Maybe that's why. Maybe because the people of Hamas have no concern for the life of their own people.
If you really believe that, you gotta be really stupid, man, to actually assume that that's the case.
We have documented cases of Hamas using hospitals, schools, and military installations layered with civilians. In fact, IDF goes to such great extent. Do you understand?
Okay.
So let me just ask you, how do you think Israel should have responded? 1,300 people die. How should Israel respond?
Can I ask you something? Because you've had your chance. Can I talk for you?
Answer it. How should Israel respond? 1,300 civilians killed. How should Israel respond?
Mr. Kirk, you had your chance to talk. Can I ask you something?
Okay, no answer.
Are you okay with kids dying? Yeah.
No, every kid dying is a tragedy, of course.
Okay, all right? So then again, Israelis are killing the kids. Yes or no?
It's collateral damage in a war, of course. America, we killed tens of thousands of kids in World War II unintentionally.
For the one person that dies, it's okay to kill 10 kids. Is basically what you're saying.
That's actually not what's happening at all.
That is, because you're blaming on October 7th.
Again, every human life is a tragedy. You must understand, in war, of which Hamas invited upon themselves. Hamas basically said, we're going to go invite and provoke you, Israel, and then they're complaining that Israel is better at war than them. That's what's happening.
Killing kids is not better at war.
Okay, again, to understand the military context of what's happening in Gaza, it is a complete wasteland. Understand, the combatants of Hamas, combatants of Hamas, they're indistinguishable to that of civilians. They don't use the actual rules of engagement. They don't wear uniforms. IDF wears uniforms. No one in Hamas wears uniform. That's not correct. They don't wear uniforms. They disguise themselves as civilians. They'll do bombing all the time against IDF. This is the hardest war that any military has ever had to fight in the modern context. And spare me the nitpicking of the Western world saying,
nitpicking for October 7th. You can't talk about nitpicking.
Here's a moral difference. You know the moral difference? October 7th.
One little thing.
Little thing.
Okay, look.
October 7th was a little thing.
What happened was bad, yes.
It was unspeakably evil. You know why?
Okay, it was bad.
Because number one, it was not in a theater of war. Number two, they didn't go after military targets. This is how cowardly Hamas is. They didn't go after Israel military bases.
I agree with Hamas?
No, I'm not saying that, but understand the moral difference.
What I'm with is the Palestinians and the fact that there's kids dying, there's people dying.
I don't like kids dying,
Exactly.
but you know who's responsible for the kids dying? Hamas is responsible for the kids dying, not Israel.
And Israel.
Hamas is responsible for their own kids dying.
Okay.
They provoked Israel. Israel responds.
Charlie Kirk,
by the way, that's another great.
What's the
Thank
thing
you for
that
bringing
Jews wear again?
The kippah or the yarmulke.
Yarmulke. I've seen a video of you wearing it, yes?
Yes, out of adoration and respect when I went to the Western Wall, correct,
I was just curious.
Do you know why they wear it, actually?
I don't.
Because they believe that Hashem is always above you and that God is always judging you. And as a Christian, I have a more nuanced theological view of that, but I think it's actually a beautiful thing. I think it's a beautiful thing to wear something above your head and believe there's a God who judges you and designs you. I can respect that.
I celebrate other cultures as well. I was just curious.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for having this argument.
Okay, again, in closing,
we agreed to
if Israel dropped down all their weapons, what would happen?
I believe Hamas will drop down and we'll leave in peace. If Israel dropped down all their weapons, I'm in hope that Hamas will do the same. I can't hope for no war. I'm in hope.
Hamas's charter is the elimination of the Jewish state.
I'm in hope that Hamas will drop all their weapons. I'm in hope. I'm in hope that this war stops in general.
No one likes what's happening.
Likes war.
However, we must be morally clear why it started.
Yeah.
What was the beginning of it? What was the genesis? And the genesis was Hamas on one of the holiest days on the Jewish calendar, which is Samat Torah. They decided to go on Shabbat, not to attack military bases, not to go after the IDF. They went into homes. They went to kibbutzes. They went to music festivals. They took hostages. And guess what? When they went back to Gaza, they were celebrated as heroes. They threw rave parties for these terrorists. They weren't like, whoa, this is kind of wrong.
What Hamas is doing is bad.
I agree, but there's a much deeper cancer and a rot happening in Gaza than just Hamas.
I can say the same thing about Israel.
Really?
I just can't.
How could you say that?
I just can't.
Do you know that there are Arab members of the Knesset? Are there Jewish members of the Gaza or Palestinian Authority? You know that there's an Arab member of the Israeli Supreme Court?
I understand, man.
No, this is important because I don't like, again, I'm an America First guy, but I'm also a truth seeker. And I don't like to see the singular Jewish state of half the world's Jewry maligned and slandered every single day for no good reason. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Charlie Kirk is really, really patient. This guy was not only misinformed, it seemed like he was just uninformed about anything. And to try to make this moral equivalence argument, well, there was children that died on October 7th, and there's children that are killed in the IDF. Yeah, as collateral damage in the war after warning people and trying to get people out as much as possible. And after Hamas buries themselves under layers of civilians, yes, there's unfortunately collateral damage, very unfortunately, actually, because every death of every human being who is created in the image of God is a tragedy. Every human being is special. Every human being has a unique mission in this world. And unfortunately, Hamas does not believe that. In fact, they are trying to genocide the Jewish people. They state openly in their charter. They take their children and use them as human shields. It's a completely different mindset. And to try to make some sort of moral equivalence between the death that's happening on both sides. And it's sad on both sides. Yes, it's sad on both sides, but who's the cause of it? That is the center of the moral argument over here. I mean, this debate ended on I think, an important question. What would happen if Israel put down all of its weapons? The correct answer is that Hamas would destroy them. What would happen, on the other hand, if Hamas laid down all of their weapons? Everyone would be peace. Everyone would be at peace in that region. This is the telling tale of the moral differentiation between the two. Who's really after peace and who simply is not. Unfortunately, this young man, I don't think he really learned all that much from the conversation, but kudos to Charlie Kirk for having this important and real conversation, and for just the patience that he has. It's pretty admirable. If you like this content overall, hit that subscribe button over there in the corner. We'd love to stay in touch. Take care.